What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Rob's Gaming Table. Today on the table we have another KeyForge Age of Ascension Vault Tour video from Origins Game Fair 2019. This is day 1B. Still working through the Swiss games here. Eventually we'll get to some day 2 coverage. On the left we have AJ. On the right we have Josh. And you guys can check out their deck lists. They are in the description below here on YouTube. You can jump on over to the Master Vault and take a look at what's in each deck before getting started here. So we see an Umbra start there for Josh. And on the other side, we got Dis. We got Shret coming in, of course, capturing nothing. Bloodshard Imp. Forcing creatures to sacrifice themselves, I believe. Let's just double check that. Yes. After a creature reaps, its controller must sacrifice it. If you guys haven't already checked it out, we do have a bunch of videos from this Vault Tour, plus some of the top 16 from Italy on the playlist at Rob's Gaming Table on YouTube, so you guys can check those out there if you want to see more KeyForge coverage. On the other side, we got Smite, readying and fighting with Umbra, and he will fight the creature, deal some damage to the neighbor. We see a Spirit's Way in the discard pile. I missed what the other card was he threw in his discard there. It was Mighty Lance, deal 3 damage to a creature and 3 to his neighbor. So we have a lab work on the other side, of course, getting an Amber and archiving card. We have Professor Sutterkin thrown into play. That's the guy that reaps. And you'll draw a card for each friendly Logos creature. And then we Time Traveler out there, which we know who he is. Gaining an Amber, drawing 2 cards. And we got Shadows on the other side. We have a Nerve Blast. It's going to destroy Sutterkin, of course. And a fight with Umbra, stealing 1. Putting Josh up 2 Amber to AJ 0. And I believe that Spirit's Way was discarded earlier there by Josh, not used. Pretty sure. I could be wrong, but... Alright, so we got Bone Rot Venom thrown onto Umbra. So after he's used, he deals 2 damage to himself, which would kill him. Assuming he stays at the same state. We got 2 Miasmas there played just for the Amber. Pretty much. So Umbra will be able to fight, and then he will be able to steal 1 and do his fight effect. And after that, he'll get dealt 2 damage from Bone Rot Venom. And we have an Umbra on the other side. So we have a Dis turn here. Call the Weak. We'll destroy the weakest creature, gain an Amber. And we have an Exhume. Exhume's just for the Amber, I guess, because he has no creatures in his discard pile. And then a Banish just for the Amber also. And a Not Finished With You for the Amber. So both players just playing cards that they wish they had late game, but they are just dumping them here to get the Amber to race for those keys. And we see Anguish on the left. He raises your opponent's key cost by 1 for each damage he has. He's a 6-power creature. And on the right we have Tentacus there, who forces the opponent to pay you an Amber to use an artifact. And we got 2 Schulers on the other side, which will steal 2. And Hysteria bringing them back to hand. All the creatures going back. Bone Rot Venom falls off. Goes to the discard pile. Schuler's coming back. They only steal 1, though, this time. Because after the first one would steal, the second one would not steal any. And just leaves Josh at 3. And does bring AJ into check with 6. So nice back and forth of stealing here. We have Tentacus back in play. We got Strek there. No longer on the flank with Anguish on the right. So Strek will reduce the basically the draw limit of his opponent by 1 while he's not on the flank. We got Yurk coming into play. We'll force a discard from Josh's hand. And he's going to discard an Umbra. So we got our first KeyForge there by AJ on the left, flipping that little Pokemon chip there. Or coin, Pokemon coin. Alright, we got another lab work here. Gaining an Amber, archiving a card. And there's that Help from Future Self. Again, an Amber gets to search for the Time Traveler, of course, getting him out of the discard pile. We saw him already. And then he'll shuffle his discard pile into his deck. Time Traveler will go to hand. And then Help from Future Self will become the new discard pile after it's finished resolving its effect. So he's going to play Archimedes on the right flank. Throwing Time Traveler beside him. Gain an Amber, draw 2 cards. Seems good. And we have another lab work. Wow. So he's got 2 in the deck. But since the shuffle there off the Help from Future Self, he drew into it again there off the Time Traveler. And we got a Brain Eater on the right flank there. And it looks like AJ's finished his turn up here with 4 Amber. Josh still sitting at no keys, but has 3 Amber. And he's going Sanctum here. He's going to play Free Markets, which will get him 2 Amber. Due to House Dis and Logos being in play. Throw down a Sigil of Brotherhood, gets an Amber off that. And we got to Protect the Weak on Anguish, gaining an Amber for playing that upgrade, giving him +1 armor and taunt. Sir Merrow's on the right flank. He will basically capture any Amber that AJ acquires from Reaping. And you see AJ there using that yellow token there in the top left to signify his archive pile. I like that. He's got 2 cards. Black sleeves are kind of blending into the mat. But yeah, that token on top there, that's his archives. It's good if you put his hand... Yeah, he's doing it right now. He puts his hand down, and there's no confusion there. Which is his archives, which is his hand. I'm assuming with multiple lab works, he maybe gets a few extra cards in the discard pile. And the Archimedes probably gets his archives loaded up so much that it can easily be confused with his hand. And looking at AJ's deck list here, well, he's deciding he has 3 Miasmas in his deck. So that's why he was, I guess, okay with chucking 2 of them at the start of the game there for Amber. He does have a Too Much to Protect. A couple Nerve Blasts. He's got Life for a Life in there. We see Oubliette. Oh, he also has a Titan Librarian in his Logos lineup, so that will usually lead to some extra archiving, of course. Assuming you can keep him around long enough. So it sounds like AJ's going with this here. He's going to use his Schulers first. And he'll Fight into Anguish once, Fight into Anguish twice. Take him off the board. Trying to get rid of that taunt off the board or possible key cost increase out of Anguish. I'm sure his next target is either Strek or Sir Merrow's, who are protected there by taunt. So we have an Amber Imp coming in. Any creature reaps will be stunned. A Yerk coming in and causing the discard there on Oubliette. And we see an Onyx Knight coming in. He will destroy each creature with odd power, I believe. Yes. Yeah, it's always what they aren't, so it makes sense. He's a 4 coming in, destroying all the odd power creatures. Which just kills Tentacus, it looks like. Yeah, it just kills Tentacus. Surprising considering there's so many creatures on the board. So we got a Sucker Punch coming out here, gaining an Amber, destroying Archimedes, and archiving the Sucker Punch since it did destroy a creature. Ronnie Wristclock stealing an Amber. So we are tied at a key apiece now. We saw Josh got his second key, or his first key there. Sorry, second key of the game. We got Yahtzee Gang on the left flank. Action steal 1. On the right flank, we see another Umbra. And we got 2 Umbras in both players' decks, actually. 2 Ronnie Wristclocks in Josh's deck there on the right. He has a Miasma of his own. He has a Swindle. That's something in his Shadows lineup that AJ does not have. So we have a Logos turn here coming from AJ. He's going to throw a Brain Eater into Yahtzee Gang, killing him. He'll let him draw a card, and the Brain Eater will take 5 damage. And we got Time Traveler running into Umbra, taking each other out. And we got a Library of Babel thrown down there for some future card draw. And 2 Professor Sutterkins. And yeah, he's got 2 in his deck. So obviously cycled around, saw one of them again. But will they live a turn to do any draw here? We will see. Just want to give a shout out to everyone that backs us over on Patreon. You'll see their names come up at the end of the video. If you want to donate on Patreon, you can click the link in the description below. Thanks to everyone who supports the channel and helps us improve here. So we got the Grey Rider coming down, causing Yerk to kill Professor Sutterkin. I think Sermero was the first one hit, killed the other Professor Sutterkin. And we see a bureaucrat. What's his first name? Borden the Redeemed. On the right flank there. He's got that action capture 2. And if I recall correctly, he is elusive. Yes, he is. So both players tied right now in the Amber department. 3 apiece and 1 KeyForge for each. Got AJ checking his archives here before he decides which house to go with. And like I thought, those 2 Professor Sutterkins did not live a turn to be used. But I'm sure AJ might have leaned into Logos here if they were both on the board. He would have got a draw off Babel, and then 6 cards total drawn off the Professor Sutterkin pair there. So it would have been 7 cards drawn on that turn. That would have been crazy. So it looks like he's going Dis. Just goes 3 Reaps. They all go on to Sermeros. And they're all stunned thanks to the Amber Imp. And then the Blood Shard Imp gets thrown down after that. So you didn't want to sacrifice those guys, obviously. So we have Sigil Brotherhood there. We now have a few Sanctum creatures on Josh's side, so I can see him going any house right now and maybe popping that Sigil Brotherhood to take advantage of the Sanctum creatures he has on the board. Just getting some extra activations there. So he's going Dis. We got Eater of the Dead on the left flank. He's the rare in Josh's Dis lineup there. He's got the Fighter Reap, purge a creature from a discard pile. If you do, put +1 power counter on Eater of the Dead. And we have a Dust Imp there on the right flank. We got Banish that threw someone into the archives there. The Blood Shard Imp archived on AJ's side. And Sermeros is going to run into the Amber Imp, who has elusive. And AJ allows the take back from Josh. So then he throws the Borden the Redeemed in to burn the elusive, then throws Sermeros into the Amber Imp. And we got Grey Rider reaping. Or not reaping. Oh, he's actually going to reap first with Strek and Yerk. And now use the Grey Rider to reap after that. And then Yerk will ready up and fight into Brain Eater. And they'll take each other out there. So that Sigil Brotherhood pop there doing work. Allowing him to use pretty much his whole board there except for the Ronnie wrist clocks. And we see Josh is now in check for key number 2. So AJ definitely back or on the back foot right now. Staring at a wall full of creatures, an opponent in check for a second key. He names this, takes his archive, removes the stuns off Onyx Knight and Yerk. Throws down Schuler to steal one, another Schuler to steal one. Getting Josh off of check, building his board up. And we see a Bloodshard Imp is back. The one that was archived earlier is now back in play. I'm sure AJ wants to kill Sir Marrow's there, so that when he reaps, he can actually get the Amber and try to get into check. Or maybe he's okay with it sitting there for a bit, and he'll deal with it later. I'm sure he also wants to get Strek off the board, since he is restricting his draw right now by 1 card. But I mean, when you have a pile of cards in your archive and you're able to pull them on the turn you need, you pretty much are overdraw anyway, so I mean, it doesn't really hit you that hard, I guess, when you're archiving. Kind of getting around that restriction. So we got a Sucker Punch coming here out of the archives again, gaining an Amber. The Alpha thrown back into the archives since it did destroy the Bloodshard Imp. We got a Hidden Stash, gaining an Amber, allowing him to archive another card. And we got a Ronnie Wrist Locks on the right flank, stealing one. Putting Josh. Josh is now in check with 8. And the other Ronnie is going to reap. We see 9 Amber now for Josh. That's going to end his turn. And we'll pass it over to AJ to answer it now. See if he can get him off check again. And AJ's going to go Shadows, it sounds like. We see Bone Rot Venom making a comeback here onto Board in the Redeemed. Miasma preventing the KeyForge step next turn by Josh. AJ is now in check with 6. And we got 2 Umbras played on the right flank. And we got Bren the Fanatic giving 1 to Josh, putting him to 10 Amber. Does AJ have too much to protect? Hopefully he'll draw into it here. This could be setting up his opponent for that. I mean, with 3 Miasmas and too much to protect, you can kind of should be able to set up a juicy too much to protect. Of course, Bren the Fanatic feeding into that, also giving your opponent an Amber. Alright, so we got 2 loaded boards here from each player. Sounds like Josh is going Shadows. Ronnie Wrist Clocks trading with Umbras. So they'll just do 2 fights there and they destroy each other. Miasma on the other side now, putting Josh up to 11 Amber. And we see Lamindra deploy, going in between Eater of the Dead and the Grey Rider there, giving them both elusive. I think that was not a bad place to put Lamindra there. I personally would have put it between Strek and Sir Marrow's, but I mean, both are valid options for sure. Grey Rider and Eater of the Dead are both awesome. Where would you guys have put Lamindra in that case? Leave it in the comments below. I'm curious. So we got another Miasma played here on AJ, doing a Shadow's turn, of course. Getting an Amber, going up to 7. So we'll hold Josh off 1 more turn. Does he have that too much to protect in hand? I wish we could see his hand right now. And if he doesn't, he's hoping, I'm sure, to draw into it. So he has a lab work in hand for sure there when he's flipping through his cards. Not sure what else he's got. Looks like he's debating what to do with Bren the Fanatic here. He does have Skirmish. He goes to fight into the Grey Rider, but he has Elusive. And Josh returning the favor there, which AJ gave him a take back earlier. Because of the same reason for Elusive. So instead he's going to fight into Surmeros. Surmeros will only take 1 damage, of course having 2 armor. And Bren the Fanatic with Skirmish doesn't take any back. So we got Sanctum on the other side by Josh. Takes his Archives up. So we got Lion Botrum being deployed. And he's going to put him in between Borden the Redeemed and Surmeros to help Borden the Redeemed gain some extra power bump there, +2 power, which will make Bone Rot Venom take just that much longer to destroy him. And then he'll capture 2 with Borden the Redeemed. And it looks like he's debating where to put Rothias the Fierce. And another Surmeros on the left flank. So now I think it's up to Josh where he wants to put the Amber. Or I think it's up to the opponent when they're reaping where they want to put their Amber, but they can it can go on either of these Surmeros. Now Josh debating how to use the Grey Rider here. He doesn't want to do anything with him, it sounds like. He doesn't need Lamindra or Strek doing any fighting. And now the other Surmeros in the center there. He's debating fighting with him, it looks like. And he's just going to reap, though, and go higher on the Amber. Let's see. I think he's sitting at 12 Amber. Definitely in check. Does AJ have another Miasma? Does he have his 3rd Miasma in hand again? Or does he have his too much to protect? Or does he have none of the above? And sadly has to let Josh forge his key next turn. Does he have a way to destroy Bren the Fanatic? Maybe steal 3 here. But AJ definitely trying to get that 2nd key and probably a little frustrated. It's being controlled by Josh quite well. So we see, oh, he probably does have the too much to protect. He's fighting with Bren the Fanatic into the Dust Imp on purpose, giving Josh 2 extra Amber. And there it is. Plays it calm and cool like a boss. Gains an Amber and steals a pile of Amber from Josh there. I'm going to say at least 7. And that's it for his Shadow's turn. Not a bad turn at all. But it does not get Josh off of a key. So he does forge his 2nd key, but has no Amber remaining. And now AJ, well, I don't know how much Amber he has up there, but I'm going to guess. Let's see, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, he's going to clean it up for us here. So I think he's in at 14 Amber. So we got Sucker Punch coming out, not destroying Schuler, but giving him 2 damage. Playing Hidden Stash for an Amber. Oh, sorry, Furtive Investors. Sorry, Furtive Investors. And then we got Ronnie Wrist Clocks coming in, stealing 2. Umbra on the right flank. Lamindra's going to reap. And Josh not stressing, just going to check. Trying to race. Trying to race. And AJ is going to, of course, forge his 2nd key now. Just behind Josh. And he's still in check. He's got 6 remaining. So both players, 2 keys, 6 Amber. We're down to the wire here. I love it. Such a tight game. This could go either way here. Got lots of Amber captured on Josh's side. If AJ has a way to get that back, he could put himself in a good spot here. Maybe out of reach of Josh's control. So he's going to go Logos. Library of Babel, drawing a card. Plays Titan Librarian on the right flank. He needs to get him off the flank if he wants to use his archive ability at the end of the turn. Cutthroat Research, just gaining an amber. Lab work, gaining an amber. Archiving a card. And we got a bouncing Death Quark. Here we go. Brendan the Fanatic's going to be destroyed. He'll steal 3, of course. And AJ is going to start naming his targets here. For each character he's destroying, he's going to destroy his whole board. And he does want to get back that amber. So, of course, right away he's grabbing Cermeros and boarding the Redeem there as his target. And he does steal the 3. So he remembers to take the 3 there. And boom. AJ, pile of amber again on his card. Insane turn of events here. That's his turn. Just has Library Babble left. Puts himself in check. Throws it over to Josh. Does Josh have a way to get him off of a key? I don't think either player have key cheats. I don't see any in the list here. And that's it. Wow. Amazing close match there. AJ pulling it out, being calm and cool. Even when he looked like he was down and out, taking his time, thinking through his moves before he took his turn there. And he got it. He pulled it out. So congrats to AJ on that one. Thanks to both players for playing on camera. If you want to check out more KeyForge, we've got a ton coming up on the channel. Hit subscribe. Hit that alarm bell button to be notified when the next videos go up. And thank you for watching. See you in the next one.